Hello listeners and fellow Game Pass fans, get yourself set and ready for your favourite unofficial Game Pass podcast, Game Pass News. So I'll hand you over to Nick and Sean and get the show started.
Welcome to Game Pass News, recorded live Thursday, November 22nd, on the eve of American Thanksgiving. I'm Nintendo, one half of the awesome GPN crew. Mr. Sean Abbott, the hairlessly handsome man from across the pond, is the other half. Today, we talk about whatever the hell we want, because Xbox didn't give us poop to talk about. So, you better sit down, buckle up, because Game Pass News is one crazy ride. Mr. Sean Abbott, can you name it? Do you know what it is? Theme song from what video game?
You said these were getting easier, but this seems like I want to go Plague Tale, but then I'm not 100% certain.
You are not right. So let me play the.
No.
Let me see if the full version helps you out.
So is this an Xbox? It's not. No.
Is this what? Yeah, let's play a game of 20 questions. I'm happy to.
Xbox Studio.
No. No.
I love how you're so certain with your answer.
As of right now, it's certainly not.
Oh.
I'm gonna skip ahead here.
Intense.
I know. Okay, so there you go. Any other questions you want to ask?
First person.
I mean, I gave you a
shooter.
big hint. As of right now, it's not. Yes, it is a first-person shooter.
So I'm assuming it's one of the Call of Duty franchise games.
Is that a question? Are you asking? Is it?
I'm just trying to think which one it is. Is it set in World War II?
You. Okay, wait. All right, you're gonna give me a second. I wasn't ready for this. That was more intense than I was ready. Yeah, you're gonna have to give me one moment, and I might be able to answer that question.
So okay, let's go. Is it a Call of Duty game?
Yes, it is a Call of Duty game. It is. Yes, it is set in World War II. Whew, man.
So that means it's either one of the Black Ops ones, or it is World at War. Something like that. Is it World at War? Call of Duty World at... I can't remember.
No.
Right, I'm going to have to...
Are you looking stuff up?
Is it Vanguard?
Nope.
I couldn't remember. Nope. Okay. No. So it's a World War II based Call of Duty, and I can't remember the name of it. Vanguard's the most recent one.
You're thinking thinking too much.
Oh.
You're thinking too hard.
Okay. Well, no, that usually happens.
It is literally Call of Duty. The numero
the
uno, the first baby, 2003 Call of Duty.
That was the one that had no, if I'm right, 2003 one didn't have any multiplayer.
I am not sure. I can't.
Can you still do Call of Duty 1 multiplayer? Did Call of Duty 1?
I thought that would be fun because I have downloaded Warzone, which we'll talk about more. I've yet to actually play it, which we'll talk about more. But I have downloaded it, and I feel like I've played the first part of the game, which is sign up to Activision accounts. But we'll get to that later. So, man, how are you doing before we jump into what is a very light news show? By the way, welcome Ninja Lunchbox to the chat.
I've run out of juice. I don't know why I'm trying to drink that. I'm good. I'd say almost at peak health in terms of feeling ill. Everybody's kind of back to normal now. My dad's still not 100%, neither is my mum, but the kids are all good. Life's good. I'm okay. Being able to enjoy the last 2 days off of my little period of time off before I go back to work, which I've been very productive. I've done some household chores, but spent most of it playing Call of Duty. So
some household chores. You were cooking like 3 dinners when we were DMing back and forth earlier.
Yeah.
You're a kind father.
So the thing is now we're down to 1 car. So like I do all of like if when I'm off, I take everybody to school, take Lindsay to work, Jay to college, and I come home. I kind of do a few bits around the house, tidy up from like the craziness that is the morning of getting everybody sorted to get to school and work and stuff like that. And then I kind of do the reverse of it. So I have to pick Logan up at like 3:15, then Emily walks home. So like got to try and get home in time for Emily being home because we aren't trusting her with a key yet, but it takes me about 15 minutes to get back with Logan. It takes her about 20 minutes to walk. So that's not too bad. And then I'll have prepped some form of meal-ish throughout the day. And then at like 5 o'clock, I go back out to pick Lindsay up from work, pick Jay up from college if she's there till that late. Sometimes she walks back. And then so this evening I thought I'd cook girls pasta bake. Logan didn't want pasta bake. He doesn't eat anything that's tomato based. He also didn't want the roast chicken that I was cooking for me and Lindsay, and she then takes meals so she could take meals to work tomorrow. So like I did him, was doing him a bit of rice and some dumplings, but kind of had just get all that prepped because it only takes 10 minutes when I got back with everybody. So yeah, it was that's usually my day. My day off.
My kids, you cannot talk to my children about this, okay? Because my children, I'm like, listen. They're like, I don't like what we're having, Dad. I'm like, listen, peanut butter and jelly, or maybe you just eat tomorrow instead. You know, those are your options here, man. You either eat what I'm cooking, you make yourself your own peanut butter and jelly, or you just don't eat today. Those are your options. So
yeah. Yesterday was a little bit of that. Kind of like everybody had this like the same, but today was kind of like, it's my last day off. Like I was having to do the roast chicken for Lindsay and stuff at work, so I was like, I'll do that or make a big batch of tuna pasta bake because I'm going to take that with me to work tomorrow night. And Logan didn't want either of them, so he had something different. But usually it's exactly the same as that. Look, this is what I'm making. Oh, this is what Mum's making when she comes through the door. I'm going to get it all prepped. If you don't want to eat that, tough shit. Go bed hungry.
That's right. That's where I'm at. I gotta offer him at least peanut butter and jelly because I'm afraid somebody will like turn me into child services or something. So I gotta at least. I didn't force him to go without food. Dang it! I offered him another thing. Yeah, that's but that's awesome. Way to go. So for us over here in America, it's Fat Thursday. No, it's Thanksgiving, but also maybe better known as Fat Thursday. Having the turkey and the stuffing and the gravy and the mashed potatoes. Sean, I feel so sorry. I'm gonna take a picture of me.
Is it Thanksgiving for you on Saturday then?
No, it's Thursday.
Get this right.
It's Thursday. Thursday's Thanksgiving.
Oh, I keep thinking it's Thursday now, but it's not. It's Tuesday. Okay, cool. So, yeah, Eve. So, like, is it all food prep tomorrow? Is that kind of the idea?
Well, for us, like, if you're cooking the whole meal, you're definitely gonna be doing prep tomorrow. For us, we really split it up. We have my mom coming, my aunt, Becca's, my in-laws. We have some cousins coming. So really, everybody's coming to our house. We're making the turkey and the ham. We do both. and everybody else is bringing the side. So really, it's not too much work. Like, you get up in the morning, prep the turkey and the ham, get them in the oven. That's all I'm really doing. Everybody else is bringing the stuffing and the mashed potatoes and all that stuff. So it's pretty broken up for us. But yeah, if you're cooking the whole meal, that's a chore, man. If you're doing all of it, that I've done that before. It's a chore, and yeah, it's a lot of work. But the way we do it over here, the way we do it with our fam is pretty nice. I just do. Everybody gets a little piece of it, so it doesn't feel like a lot. It doesn't feel like a crazy amount of work. So
Yeah, well, that's cool.
Yep.
I mean, like, I'd like to be involved in the whole Thanksgiving thing because, like, whenever from watching it from the UK into the US, is like whenever you watch something like we've been watching a lot of This Is Us.
Oh yeah,
They had
that's a
Thanksgiving and
fantastic
like really
show.
big spread of food. They had all these different stuff, and it's like, oh, that looks amazing. So and it's
What a,
like like a practice run for Christmas. That's what
kind
it
of,
looks like
yeah,
for us anyway.
yeah. It is. It is kind of that. I would say Thanksgiving's actually a bigger spread for us than Christmas is. I mean, our Christmas is pretty big spread, but probably not. I don't know. It's probably pretty similar now that I think about it. Yeah, it's probably pretty
And
similar.
it surprises me that because most of our traditions of how we do things like Halloween, how big our November the 5th getting for bonfire night and things like that
Mm-hmm.
is going towards the same level as you guys have for
Mm-hmm.
July 4th for your Independence Day. Is I am surprised that like we haven't adopted Thanksgiving yet and been like, that's a really cool idea. We'll adopt it and say it's just a really nice day to be thankful for friends and family
Yeah.
and our health and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Not the whole like pilgrim
Yeah. Yeah.
and,
Not the farce
like, the
crap we've used about the Pilgrims landing and then the hunky dory Indians that we later did atrocities to. Yeah, let's not talk about that part. Really, I mean,
So yeah,
good
I'm surprised.
Americans.
I'm surprised because like we've got Black Friday. Like for whatever reason, we seem to jump on Black Friday like it's crazy. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know for a fact, like come this weekend, there's going to be TikTok videos going around and YouTube shorts of people in the UK punching each other over TVs and stupid
Nice.
stuff like that because why not, fools. Um, but yeah, I can't
Yeah.
understand why we wouldn't have adopted the nice part rather than just the crazy spending bit. But it's
Yeah, I was
all
gonna
for the
say you
economy.
should. I mean, in America, that's what we do. We're like, we all sit around a table and we're like, oh, we're so thankful. And then we go out and we just punch people for an Elmo doll or whatever. That's just,
GTA bitches.
yeah, yeah. That's good American. That's good American thinking right there. Uh, so no, but I really like Thanksgiving. I love the food. Actually, I'm not really much of a turkey fan. It's okay. Like turkey's okay. But really, you can just give me all the other stuff, the stuffing, the mashed potatoes, the gravy. Yeah, just pour it down my throat and we're good. The football, there's football, that's fantastic. I get to watch my Lions lose every Thanksgiving. It's fantastic, Sean. Well, whatever.
You never know. Might be a miracle this year. Could
Could
be a miracle this year.
might be a miracle. We'll see. My fantasy league's doing pretty good though, so there's that. But we do have cousins coming over, so like in the space I'm in right now, it was perfect that we podcasted today because tomorrow there's gonna be like 2 air mattresses and some. Yeah, it's just gonna be like a hotel down here tomorrow. No podcasting tomorrow night, I can tell you that. So, but yeah, so that's us.
Cool.
That's America. That's what we're doing. Sean, you have to come. We were just talking about this. You have to come over the pond for American Thanksgiving. You're not going to miss anything over there. There's no Thanksgiving. You come over here.
This is
Maybe
this
you
is
get
very
some
true.
better deals. You can do some Black Friday shopping. I don't know.
And you have snow. That's the interesting thing. You have
Yes,
snow this time of year. We have that. We've had that like as a weather update, John. So buckle up.
that's right.
Like we've had rain to the point where there's like the cities underwater. Like Scotland had a month's worth of rain in 24 hours the other day, and they kind of just cannot handle it. They got that wee butts out, and we're going around everywhere. Like York was underwater, which is the local city to me. It's just like it's been absolutely crazy. It's like rained pretty much every day for a couple of hours. It's like, but it's freezing at the same time. So, but we haven't had any snow. Where you guys have had snow, so
Oh yeah.
that'd be quite nice.
Yeah, we had a few inches last week. Well, see, we had the weather front coming in with the cold air. It just come together, and then when it came together, there was a clipper, and it come down and made a lot of snow. There you go. There's my weatherman. I don't think a clipper's a thing. I just totally made that up. Might be. I'm not real sure. Also, sports update. Some team over there ruined America's World Cup hopes, which we never have any really. But tied us up and ended the deal. So there you go. Thanks a lot.
Did we play it? I'd say this is how much I don't follow football. I don't know how many games England have played now. I don't know.
I have no
what
idea. All I did is read an
group they're in.
article.
Oh, I saw somebody posted something. One of my friends posted it was like a New York news headline. I'll try and find it and I'll stick it in the in Discord. And it said America wins 1-1.
Yeah, well, that's a good headline. Yeah, we're like, listen, if we tie bees, then we win. That's how that works. Yeah, no, we tied with Wales, which we were supposed to win handily and did not. Which from the article I read is pretty normal for us when it comes to World Cup. So there you go. So there you go, everybody. We got the weather, we got the sports, we got the holidays, we got it all. So now that we've got all that out of the way, Sean, why don't you talk to me?
We can talk about no news.
Yeah, we can talk. Well, first we got to talk about events, though. So Sean, why don't you talk about events?
So for everybody that's involved in the Achievement Hunters, pretty much coming down to two people at the moment, which is Google King and Link, which is Jesse Wildlock's little boy. It's coming to an end. This is like literally by the 29th next week. That is your cut off. That's it. You have a week left from now to get those in to us where you are. If you've got the full shebang of 1,000 gamer score, etc., etc., you've got all that to give to us. Because moving on from that, seeing as December is very sparse with games, we're going to look at maybe doing Hello Neighbor 2 because we can't justify High on Life because I don't.
Hello Neighbor. I can't remember. I don't, Sean. I don't want to play Hello Neighbor 2.
God damn it! You're going to play Hello Neighbor 2 if you want your money.
That's it. I don't freaking want to play Hello Neighbor 2. I'm not doing it, Sean. I'm not doing it. I'm not playing it.
So what do you suppose? What do you suppose that we do? That's going to make it any easier.
I just bitch on this podcast. You come up with the solutions. I have no idea. I'm just saying I'm not playing Hello Neighbor 2.
So. I don't know. You sent me a picture the other day, and that kind of sparked a bit of a debate between us. There is a way of looking at who has got the highest gamer score accumulation for the month, I believe, in the Xbox app. If you use the Xbox app, go into there, go into the achievements tab, and I think it gives you a highlight of all you and your friends and who's sat number one and how many everybody scored. So why don't we run it that way? Why don't we do it for the most achievement score for the month?
For the month. So it's going to run the same way that we're doing it right now. So 5 achievement points gets you 1 entry into the contest. But Sean, yep. I'm out of these pins.
Oh, no.
So what am I? So what? We got 15. I'm not doing this for $15, Sean. All I'm winning is $15.
Okay. What do you suppose that we do for that then? What's the plan going forward? If you're not going to get a pin, we need something the same value.
Well, it's a Game Pass show. I don't know. Maybe we could give some months of Game Pass or something.
Yeah. How does 3 months of Game Pass sound?
So if I do this achievement hunter thing, if I give my score of all the achievements that I got through all the games that I played for the previous month, so like for the full month of December, I hand that in. And then every 5 achievement points I get 1 entry to a contest. And if I win 3 months of Game Pass. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. Why not?
Oh, yeah,
that sounds fair enough.
I think it sounds fair enough. I'll do that. That's what it is. That's what we're doing, folks.
So should we run it the 1st? So 1st of December to the 1st of January. Just the 1st of the month to the 1st of the month.
Well, why don't we just take it with the month? The full month of December. You have the 1st to the 30th. Or the 31st. Cool. I don't know. There's a thing you can do with your knuckles to figure out how many days are in each month, and I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. My son's tried to show it to me.
Yeah, I've tried to memorize that several times. So there's 31. So from the first to the 31st.
Also, there's just calendars. That's what I told. That's what I
Yeah.
told him. He was like, "Look, Dad, my teacher said it," and he's like doing this thing with his knuckles. I was like, "Son, that's why calendars exist. I don't know what you're trying to do with your knuckles
Yeah.
there."
So very quickly, if you want to keep a track of how you're doing this, if you go into your Xbox app, if you have it on your phone, go all the way and click your avatar, which for me is the eyeball. So if I click on the eyeball, click achievements, and then click your ranking this month. It will tell you through all your friends that you've got there, who's currently ranking the highest. You can either get as a screenshot of that page to show where you are, and then me and Nick will do like all the magic of putting everybody in a spreadsheet, or you can add me, which is Sean Abbott, as an Xbox friend, or you can go and add Nick, who is Nick Tendo, and we can scan through there. We can give like weekly updates of who's doing well and who's not doing well. Let's put it this way: if it was rated for this month, Ninja Lunchbox would be up there because he's currently like killing it at 1,215 gamer score. So he's been playing really, really well. And I'm currently being beaten by my daughter. So
That's tough.
by about 500 gamer score. So
yeah, and so we can have fun. We'll post these pictures every once in a while throughout the month to show, where people are on the list. Also, here's the thing. It's January 1st. You wake up, you're probably in a stupor, especially this particular month, right? Because you're like, oh shit, I didn't think about looking at my thing. I was celebrating the new year. What am I going to do? Guess what? Xbox on the app lets you look at the previous month as well. So if it's November 1st or November 2nd by the time you wake up from your celebration, that's fine. You can still go to your Xbox app, flip over to December. We'll give people probably like a week or so to get those final scores in, and then we'll pick from that list of people that handed in. So we are no longer chaining you to the game of whatever, like Sean wanted to with Hello Neighbor over here. You can choose any game you want to play, baby. I'm gonna be getting all the Disney Dreamlight Valley achievement points. You're all screwed. That's all I gotta say.
yeah, but this means I'm now going to have to play something other than Warzone, which is currently what I'm massively addicted to.
That's right. So, well, you don't have to. You just won't win. See? There you go.
Well, that's very true.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to top story. All right, Skyrim has a Fall Guys event, and Jim Ryan says that he is telling the truth about Microsoft. All right, we're going to move on to... Sorry, it is a light news week, folks.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm interested that the whole Skyrim thing with Fall Guys, that could drag me back into the game. I think I've still got it installed. But then it might not.
No chance.
Because I'm also really excited about Warzone. So like really, really excited. If you're in the Discord, you'll have seen. But this whole Jim Ryan thing, I mean, he looks annoyed. Let's put it politely.
The picture is really good. You're right. He does. Yeah, it's so good. The pictures you can. I mean, let's be honest. Anybody can get a picture of you looking like shit. That's just kind of how it is. And it's nice that these news agencies like to grab these pictures of like inopportune looks. I'm sure he has a great smile when that's what he's doing.
When he's winning, yeah. So yeah, basically, he's just going on to say that people are commenting saying that they're trying to mislead the regulators in what Microsoft's doing. And he's kind of saying it's not true. Microsoft is a tech giant with a long history of dominating industries. It's highly likely that choices gamers have today will disappear if this deal goes ahead. So I think he's trying his hardest to defend the whole Call of Duty franchise, because this is always what it seems to circulate back around. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more of the same old shtick. Again, I'll say what I said before. PlayStation, I think they know this is going through. They're just going to try to get as much out of this as they can. How far can they push Microsoft and Phil lock in what they're going to lock into them having an option for Call of Duty and all that. Ironically, and I don't know how true this is, but ironically, Phil is making this turn of like, well, we don't even really care about Call of Duty. We want the mobile gaming app, which actually isn't just all chat. It does line up with a little bit of what Microsoft is doing right now of like making this mobile center. So I do kind of wonder if we are missing the point not missing the point. I mean, obviously they're interested in Call of Duty and all that, but maybe we
Yeah,
aren't
I mean,
giving enough weight to this mobile side as well, is what I'm saying.
is Jim Ryan missing like not being able to see the wood for the trees? Is he looking at it and thinking, well, we've made loads of money off the fact that we've had Call of Duty like a week earlier than everybody on Xbox, so people can buy it for us. People purposely go and buy into the ecosystem of the PlayStation because they love this game so much. Where Microsoft are kind of sat there going, well, that's really cool, but we can make more money from the mobile side of things. Whole King and we've got like a publisher there that's really good at making mobile games, which people get highly addicted. I mean, like Lindsay's on level 3,000 and something on Candy Crush, so she plays that a lot. So if they can make a game, like if King can get hold of some of the Microsoft like games that we've got and then go and make something that can be as addictive as that, like Marvel Snap, that's currently like getting like eaten up by people. If they can work with King to make something like that, then Microsoft are going to make big bucks in the gaming industry via mobile. I mean, what they could always do is turn around to Sony and say, hey, look, that's fine. You keep getting it that week early, but what we're going to do is we're going to give like people who subscribe to Game Pass, we're going to give them like this weapon sooner. It's going to, we can alter, because we work with Activision, we can kind of alter, which gun's nerfed, which gun isn't nerfed, and like we can give Game Pass people the advantage because they can get more damage per second because they've got this kind of skin and this different loadout, and you can't get that because you're. If they really wanted to, they could go and do that, and Sony would probably be like, okay, that's not fair, but.
Yeah, I wonder, I don't know, but I wonder, obviously, if Phil is using Call of Duty as the negotiation chip that he's willing to give away, that he may have actually given away anyways, because it's a way for him, even if he puts it on PlayStation, it's a way for him to recoup cost through just getting money up front and not waiting on Game Pass subscriptions. And what he is more interested in is the mobile side of things. So he negotiates with the chip he's willing to give while he holds back the stuff that he really wants to keep. Because I wonder if they want to have a sector or a version of Game Pass that's like Apple Arcade. If that's what they're going for here with, now all of a sudden, instead of just having PC Game Pass, you have, I don't know, mobile Game Pass. I don't know what they're going to call it, but something like that, where all of a sudden, or maybe it's $15 and you get all this, because what did Phil say? Listen, we're drying up on the console side here. We've pushed this about as far as we think we can. They see it. I'm sure they can grow it, but I don't think they see exponential growth available on the console side anymore. But where there is exponential growth for subscriptions is mobile.
Yeah, and just to reinforce that whole hardware kind of side of thing, and people in the console is they've knocked the $50 off. It's down to what is it, $199? Is it $200?
It's $250.
So yeah, it's down to $249.99, and now they're chucking in a free Xbox headset, which is a pretty good
headset to own. Crazy, Sean. That's a crazy deal.
So, how much is that headset? I think
it's like $50. Yeah, they're doing everything they can to make the S be the thing for Christmas. Like, they really want this to be where people go. They want this to be the Oculus of last year.
That headset, the wireless Xbox headset.
No, it's not wireless. It's wired.
Oh, okay.
They're throwing in a wired one. At least that's what I thought I saw in the picture. I'm pretty sure the picture showed a wired headset. So I think it's $50. I think the wired is $50.
Yeah, $44.99 in the UK for the wired.
Yeah.
So you've got £50 off. You've got $50 off your console, and then an extra $50 because you've then got a really cool headset. So, you know,
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to get consoles out the door, especially this S, because that's the one that they see that people, I think I get the feeling that everybody who wants the X has kind of made that jump, and they see the S as the way to get people into the Xbox ecosystem. People like me who are either coming back or are here for the first time, and are willing to make that $250 purchase. But I probably wouldn't have been okay with making a $500 purchase for a system that I
yeah,
wasn't sure
and
where it was going to take me yet.
that's the issue that I've been running into. I mean, X Long X, Kurt was chatting between me and Jesse in the Discord in our section, asking questions about the Series S and it being diskless. Basically, it's digital only because his kids play a game that he's got on a disc and he couldn't see anywhere he could buy the physical a digital copy. Um, I think we pointed him in the right direction for that, and he could see it. But we've kind of me and Lindsay have kind of well, because Jay's Xbox is kind of getting on. It's the One S. It's maybe 2 or 3 years old now. It's starting to lack in power and basically there's games that are going to be coming out soon that aren't just going to work on it because the next gen
Mm-hmm.
games only. Um, so we thought, oh, like with the price of it coming down and with Black Friday and like, oh, some kind of January sale, could we look into getting her a new console? But the S wouldn't fit her well because she's got Tomb Raider, Red Dead, Grand Theft Auto, a bunch of wrestling games and stuff like that that she loves to play, but they're all only playable by disc. So if she wants to play those games, she's going to go back and spend some more money on downloading them. There's no like, which I think there should be, is if you have a physical copy, you should be able to have a digital copy
I
straight
see what you're
away, kind
saying.
of thing,
Yeah.
or not straight away, but kind of heavily discounted. So you've bought the game, you've
Mm-hmm.
played it loads of times, like Tomb Raider. She should be able to get it for like $5, £5, something like that, and be like, okay, yeah, because that game is really old. You've had it for a while. I think it's an Xbox One disc. It's not it's not the next gen disc. It's an Xbox One disc. Um, so she should just be heavily discounted for that. So it's then trying to pull people into that ecosystem of just get a digital only because we're heavily subsidizing the games. So if you've got a library of games that are on disc and you wanting to move to the Series S, not only is the Series S cheaper, but for an extra $50 you can have 10 games that you already own digitally.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that'd
Yeah.
be a really good way of getting them in
Yeah,
because
that makes sense to
that
me.
would definitely change my mind on buying the Series S over just letting it muddle along with the
The
One
problem
S for now.
is we can't have nice things, Sean. And I bet there's some idiot that's like figured out how to like wreck like I bet somebody's thought or like they've thought about this, but there's something like that they foresee being an issue with the digital rights and it's going to get abused or whatever. We can't have nice things.
Yeah,
That's the problem. Um but yeah, sorry. Yeah, I just want to get to the end of this acquisition. This was really
yeah,
interesting to me at the beginning, and I'm sure Phil feels even more that way. This was really interesting to me at the beginning. I was like, "Ooh, this is fun. We made Acquisition Watch. We're having fun with it." But now it's kind of getting a bit repetitive. Talking, it's just kind of like, well, I don't know. Like, let's just find the end. Let's sit down at a table, figure out what we got to do to make Jim happy, and to what Phil's willing to give up, and let's just move along, basically.
yeah,
So we'll see if they hit their June date. That was the thing. They were going to hit the June. They wanted to be June 2023. They said they were ahead. They had a schedule, but that was before this thing happened over in the UK. So now I don't know if they still feel like they're on track or if they're behind now. So it'd be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to do
yeah.
update from Phil to see what he says.
Which we might see. I don't know. I don't know if he might bring some kind of statement out around the Game of the Year awards ceremony. If anything, it'll come from like because obviously he'll do press releases and stuff like that around that time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, and hopefully we'll see some actual games that might be coming out a bit closer to coming out for Xbox. So, because we've got two. I'm claiming Tunic as an Xbox Game Pass game because it came to Xbox Game Pass before it came to anything else.
Loose rules we're playing with here.
Just for that one, because if it didn't, you'd only have one title, As Dusk Falls, that's anywhere in the nominations. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's been a very sparse year for.
Mm-hmm. I won't say
Xbox
it again.
Titles.
I refuse to say it again. Yes, it has been. Yeah, here we have Pentiment, As Dusk Falls, Grounded. If you want to be generous, and if you want to be extra generous, you can include Forza 5 Hot Wheels Edition DLC because that was pretty meaty. But that's extra generous. That's an extra scoop of gravy if you want to give them that one. I mean, it's been a shit year for Xbox. There's nothing else. A lot of games lined up, and they all got washed away to 2023. It'll be very interesting to see. The Xbox community keeps talking about all these games that are coming out in 2023. It'll be very interesting to see how many gets washed away to 2024. So, just have to wait and see. But folks, that's it. That's our top stories. That's all we got. No more.
Light week.
Yeah, it was a light week. Out this week, Gungrave Gore is a stylish third-person action game. Out today, actually, November 22nd. Gungrave Gore, a stylish third-person action shooter by South Korean studio Iggy Mob, in which you take on the role of Grave, a gunslinger of resurrection. Well, whatever. I played the game, so why the hell am I reading that? It's kind of like an arcade shooter. I played the first full level. It's kind of like an arcade shooter. You do walk around. It's not on rails, but it has that aim sense where it's very like you just got to point in the general direction of an enemy and it'll lock on. I mean, it's a very forgiving auto aim. I mean, if I find it to be pretty forgiving, that's really saying something because I do not aim well in these shooters. But it's fun. It's just an aggressive shooter. There's no let's think about how to attack these enemies. There's no tactical thought in this. It's just an aggressive arcade third-person shooter. I almost said first-person. Third-person shooter. And there is a lot of different combat styles. So he carries this big... I thought it was a gun, but it's actually not. It's just this, I don't know, this big thing of metal that he carries that he can when enemies get too close, he can beat them with it. So there is a lot of ways you can use it. It is going to be one of those games though where you're not going to use half of the combos. Well, wait. Let me step back. I'm not going to use half of the combos because just in the first level, I got bombarded with press R, A, and L at the same time, and he'll do a double flip, and you'll hit him with the thing, and then shoot your gun. And it's whoa. Okay, wait. There are too many combos floating around for me to have any idea how to use half of these. So you're just gonna have to pick the ones you like if you want to play it. I will say. I got to the end of the level and had a really good. I wouldn't say it was a good. I wouldn't say really good. It was a good boss battle. Fun. He had many different types of attack. He was changing his style of attack with how I was playing. So that was fun. It was a good time. And when you're done, it's how many hits did you get? Gives you a rating, real arcade style. So it was fun. If that's your jam, I would say do it. But the gore, it's aptly named, my friend. In the first 5 minutes, you're blowing heads off, snapping necks. You're doing all the gory goodness. So if that's not your thing, it's not just named that for no reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that might sit that it. Yeah, that seems a bit too overkill, even for somebody that likes Doom. That sounds a bit too overkill.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those. It's the first time I've ever flagged content. I put a 15-second snippet on Twitter, and I sat there and looking at it, and I was like, I don't feel comfortable putting this on here. And so then I found the little flag thing and flagged it as extra violent, so that I felt a little bit more comfy with that. So yeah, it's the first time I've ever used that too. So, yeah,
would that be our first sensitive post on Twitter then?
I think it probably would be. I don't know. I mean, it's not. Nice. It wasn't horrible, but it's enough. Next week. Oh, and I'm sorry. Battlefield 2042. Are you excited for this, Sean? You tell me. I kind of shrugged, but
I'm not. While you were talking about Gungar, then I was quickly looking through an article by Pure on Pure Xbox Because I thought this game was already out on EA Pass for Game Pass Ultimate, but I'm really wrong. Um, I mean, their headline for it is from a guy called Soapbox. Despite its rough launch, I'm incredibly excited for Battlefield 2042 to hit Game Pass. I am not, if because I was still very much put off by it. Battlefield has always been a little bit more of a murky first person shooter online style game for me. They don't add enough. So yeah, I'm not entirely. I'm not super hyped. I might give it a go because it's there and it's free. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's been almost a year since it came out. So
Yeah, I mean, I played it when it came out. I think it was a free to play weekend. I think that's how I
yeah,
played it. I played a handful of matches. I thought it was okay. I didn't see any reason to go back to it. But then it's also not my type of game, so don't take my remarks for very
yeah.
much.
It's this section. One grey area is whether 2042 is looking at introducing any sort of big new feature during its second year on the market. The team did attempt an extraction type mode at launch, which it has then given up on, and I'd actually like them to revisit that. I've been playing some Modern Warfare 2's DMZ mode since its launch last week, and there's potential there for DICE to compete. I think they're going to struggle because like the DMZ mode in Warzone is just brilliant. It's like completely changed the online multiplayer for me of Warzone, which I'll talk about it a little bit more when we actually start getting into what we've been playing. But I know the servers with Battlefield 42 were a bit ropey. They claim for 128 people maps and stuff like that. So if they're going to do stuff like that, they're going to have to pull it off and pull it off well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it's just very strange. I mean, as a guy who like didn't really care about this game, but watched its rise in excitement, and then it just like the air just pop out of this big excited balloon just when it came out. I mean, it was really like, whoa, okay, wow, that like you took all your goodwill and just shat on it basically. Which I
yeah,
mean,
I
games
mean, I
do.
mean,
We've seen it numerous times. But
it
yeah.
didn't help at the time that I think like Warzone were doing really big map stuff. Fortnite was doing big map stuff all at the same time. I think
Mm-hmm.
that was around that era that the nuked the the nuked for dance in Warzone. So everybody who was playing that was kind of like, wow, this free to play games like right there, right now, and they've got all this new cool stuff going off. At the same time, they introduced Rebirth Island, and Fortnite were doing their whole like PR stunt where they basically made the game unavailable for 24 hours and stuff like that. So I think
Yeah, they
like
were. Yeah. I forgot about that.
yeah, so I think other free to play style games were doing a lot of interesting stuff. I think maybe Apex was bringing a new season out. Overwatch was doing something as well. I think they were all quite savvy in what they were doing. So it took a lot of vision away from Battlefield, which I don't think helped its demise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with all that. Next week, Tuesday, November 29th, looking forward to this soccer story game. It's been a year since the calamity tore apart the very foundations of soccer as we know it, and since then, Soccer Inc. has made dang well sure that not a soul has been allowed to even look at a soccer ball, let alone kick it. Soccer may have been banned across the world, but now there is hope. A magical soccer ball has chosen you, our savior of soccer. Soccer Story is a physics driven adventure RPG where every problem can be solved with your trusty magic ball. Magic soccer ball. Didn't say that, but that's what it meant. I'm
Save the
in.
world
Yeah.
with your secret there. Anyway,
Save the world with your
save the
magic
world with your
ball.
secret balls.
Your secret. Well, there's a title. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be any good, but it's definitely got it's on my radar as a game. If it peaks anywhere near Golf Story, then man, I'm super excited. So let me at it. I'll be playing this next Tuesday when it comes out.
Yeah, is the Sports Story coming out as well soon? The indie
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
I'm
yeah, it
just
is.
trying.
I don't know when, but it's coming out real soon. I think in like a month, in something like that. I thought, but I could be wrong. It was in
Next
the
month. Yeah, it was in the indie world, wasn't it, for the
yeah,
Switch? A Sports Story is
it
coming next
was.
month, so could be aptly timed. This is coming out next week, and then we can play Soccer Story for a bit before Sports Story comes out on the
Yeah.
Switch, because I'm going to pick that up on the Switch because I really liked Golf Story, and that's where I played Golf Story. So
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what it is. I also hope they didn't stray too far away from their charm. So we'll see though.
yeah, the graphics look slightly different for Soccer Story than it did for Golf Story. Like, it's a bit more, rather than top down 2D ish, it's more 3D, coming in at
Hmm.
45 degrees, I think.
Yeah,
Just looking
yeah.
at the images. I can't
It
remember
looks a
looking at
little
the
different.
video. So
So yeah, and then the other game, Insurgency Sandstorm, dropping November 29th on that
yeah, which is a
Tuesday.
team-based tactical FPS based on lethal close quarters combat and objective-oriented multiplayer gameplay. Experience the intensity of modern combat where skill is rewarded and teamwork wins the fight. So, if you're not a big Call of Duty fan, this one might be a good one to break you into the all FPS kind of realm, because I can't see it being as quick and as fast paced, but I could be wrong.
Hmm. And then the next day, Wednesday, November 30th, I have no idea if I'm going to like this game, but Warhammer 40k Darktide drops. Sean, we've been talking about these Warhammer games for so long. I just want to play one at this point. So I am definitely going to play this game. I may play it for an hour and be like, yeah, that's definitely not for me. But I'm definitely going to play it. I can say that much. Take back the city of Tertium. We're going with that. From hordes of bloodthirsty foes. In this intense and brutal action shooter, Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide is the new co-op focused experience from the award-winning team behind Vermintide series.
Yeah, I mean, it was well received in the showcase in the summer.
It was, yeah.
Um, and I mean, it's publisher, developer, Fat Shark. It's only coming to the Series S, Series X, and Microsoft Windows. So, you can claim this as you want as a Xbox exclusive.
You're
Um,
just reaching today, aren't you? You're like
I'm trying its best. So, but yeah, it's day and day. So this is a day and day game that's coming to Game Pass.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's cool. We got two of them. Maybe three. I don't know. No, Insurgency I don't think is day and date. But Soccer Story is, and so is Warhammer. I think Soccer Story
Yep.
is. So yeah. Leaving Game Pass. We've already went over these last week, but Arkvale, Deer Sim, Final Fantasy 13 2, Mind Scanners, Mortal Shell, Space Warlord, Undungeon, and Warhammer 40,000 Battle Sector, which I suppose I could just play that one, but why when I could wait for the new one?
Yeah, I'd play the new one.
That's right. You got 8 days to play them or buy them at a discount. After that, it's all downhill, my friend. So, anything new with Games with Gold?
I'm just quickly looking now. I don't think they've released anything yet. Um, Hovering around that. I think because they've got the Black Friday sale going on, I think they're focused more on that at the moment. But I can't seem to find any news anywhere on Games with Gold. So
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe after I mean, it's Microsoft's headquarters might be a little slim right now. The old Thanksgiving. So
yeah,
it's so yeah, maybe next week they'll start pumping that stuff out. Yeah. So let's move on to Xbox Spot. Sean, you want to go first?
um, no, you go first, because
Okay,
I think the Warzone chat's gonna go
that's
on for
fair.
quite a bit, because you've had some issues in terms of downloading it. So
That's fair. Yeah, and I'm pretty quick. Still playing Minecraft. Still loving it. Yeah, we got farms and cattle, and we fight a little bit over too much over leashes, and it's a thing. We're dragging animals all around, but we're having a lot of fun, and I'm loving the time with the kiddos. So we haven't had a game in a while that really the three of us have really gotten into, and this is that thing. So I'm down for that.
Are
Um,
you,
Go ahead.
in terms of progression in the game, have you figured out what you need to do or what, where you're supposed to be heading? Or are you still just farming and mining?
I am farming shit and mining crap and doing my stuff, and nope, I haven't got a clue. I get coal, I make lights. I've been making roads. It's been a big problem that I've been getting lost. So I've been making all roads lead back to our little underground home. So um
Torches are always the way. That's how I used to have a system where when I was going away from my home, the torches would be on the left hand side, and when I was coming back, I'd always then pick them back up. So then they'd be on my right hand side, so I knew I was going
uh,
back.
yeah, I've just been using cobblestone, and I cobblestone I mean, we have like a tons of it. I tell the kids to basically stash everything, don't throw anything away, and so yeah, there's been a ton of cobblestone, and so I've just been making two brick cobblestone roads, kind of just everywhere we go, so that it always kind of leads back home. If you found the cobblestone road, you can find the house. That's what I tell the kids. Um,
Follow the cobblestone road.
that's right,
Yep.
exactly. Past that, I started Chorus. This is an older game. I mean, not real old, but maybe 6 months to a year ago on Game Pass right now. Um, Actually, I think it might have come out a year ago, and it came out on Game Pass about 3 or 4 months ago. You spend pretty much all of your time in in like a little spaceship kind of thing, flying around shooting baddies. It's got real good flying mechanics. I've only played the first level, but I've really enjoyed it. Also has the game mechanic where you have the ability to pick up side quests. You don't have to, but if you do, you'll get money, which you can spend to upgrade different parts of your ship. So yeah, I have enjoyed the level of that, though I don't know how far I will get into it at the moment because I want to jump into John and Drew's backlog thing and ironically play another game where you're in a spaceship and it just left my brain. I'm sitting here vamping, trying to remember the name of it. The Star Fox like game. Sean, can you help me out? You put the little toys on top of your controller. Gosh darn it. I bought
Starlink.
Starlink, thank you. Yes, I bought that. Yeah, Starlink Battle for Atlas. I bought that game and never finished it. So I was one of those guys that got duped for paying like $60 for the game, and then 2 months later it was like $20. So that was fun. Um, so I'm probably going to jump over and start playing that instead. So, and really, Sean, that's what I'm playing and what I'm thinking about playing. What about you?
Um, so I've mentioned it a couple of times. Don't know if you've noticed that throughout the podcast. I have hit Warzone pretty hard. I started dabbling in the original one a little bit because just I was trying to loop back to games that I enjoyed. And so and then the new one came out. Didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm just looking at. I haven't seen all that bits and pieces from Bruce because I haven't had the YouTube up. And now I can't make the screen go away.
You're good. We'll get to it in party chat. He's asked us a question.
Cool. That's good because we didn't have any. So they released Warzone 2.0. It's 95 gig download. I know you've had some interesting. You got an interesting story to tell on how it downloads because I had the same issue. I just can't. I think when
You just clicked all the buttons. I should have done that.
yeah, I just press select everything that didn't cost money I wanted. So but then the actual battle royale, I was getting pretty bored quite quick. So it was like same old, same old. I didn't know the map very well, but because a lot of people jumped on it on the beta and I didn't, you know, they've, if you bought the game, I think you got access to it early compared to everybody else. And then I've seen a lot of YouTube shorts and a couple of YouTube videos about this DMZ DMZ mode, which so far I'll give this a go. I'll see what it's about. It took a couple of games for me to figure out what I was doing, but rather than like true to battle royale style esque play, you don't drop in from the sky with all the other players. You kind of load in, and you're in a team of three. So you can either play with two friends or you can with absolute randoms. And I've had the glory of being playing with absolute randoms all the time, which I've enjoyed. I've had some very good matches. I had a match this evening before we started doing the podcast where there was a guy whose mic didn't seem to work, so he was very quiet, which was interesting. But then there was a Scottish gentleman, and we had a really, really good game. We managed to do a couple of contracts and bits and pieces like that, and we went to Exfil, which I'll talk about that in a second. And we missed the bus. Basically, the helicopter that we called in got ransacked and taken over by other actual online players. And so we kind of we just sat back and let them take it because we had some bits and pieces that we didn't want to lose, so we just let them go with it. But because we did that, the gas cloud was moving and absorbing everything. So we had to hightail it across the map to try and get to this other to the last bus, the last helicopter that was picking people up. And we got absolutely battered. Everybody seemed to have turned up to this. There's like 5 different teams of 3 there, and we just kind of went, fell over and had his bellies tickled. But yeah, it's interesting. So the whole scenario with DMZ is, like I say, you drop in, you're a team of 3, and basically the voiceover guy says to you, welcome to Asmara. Expect hostile engagement from locals as well as other operators in the area. So not only are you battling against other online players, but there is a lot of like NPC style bots that you have to come across. And depending on the area that you get into, it's heavily populated. Some of them are armored. And it's really interesting. There's loads of different contracts that you can go around and pick up. So there's like rescue hostages, take out high value targets, plant explosives and blow stuff up, find a laptop hard drive and upload it via a radio tower and stuff like that. So there's loads of stuff you can do, and you earn cash. You can then buy contraband weapons. There's no like loadout process to this. And when you feel like you've done enough, you've earned loads of money, you've completed a couple of contracts, you basically find an area where you can call in this helicopter and you can extract yourself from the area, and everything that you come away with. So the weapons, like the armor that you've bought, like armor that you've managed to find, backpacks that you've managed to find, which means you've got an extended inventory. You can exfil with all this. Any loot that you've picked up money wise gets turned into XP to help you level up. I'm absolutely loving it. It's taken the stress away from just being against other online players. So that PvP is still there and still apparent, but it's not heavily like based around this game mode. Like tactically taking out groups of NPC style people is really interesting. It's a good laugh. I've had some really good games with some really good people. I've had some games with people that have been like, oh yeah, let's get in this helicopter, and then done that whole like just drop the helicopter in the middle of nowhere and you're surrounded by everybody with no weapons, and it's kind of like, oh great, thanks very much, you've kind of stitched me up here. I get a couple of decent extractions where I've got some decent gear come out, and you go into one of those style of matches and like they drop you in it, and you're like, great, I've spent the last 2 hours really working and building up my gear for you to absolutely ruin it because you've not listened, you've had really poor communications on the mic and stuff like that, or you've kind of just run off and done your own thing and left me, which is a right laugh. But yeah, like I said, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. The thing I'm really, really liking about Warzone is the proximity chat. A lot of people now, if you go and look at Warzone 2.0 videos, the proximity chat is hilarious. And what that means is you can hear other online players if you're close, if you're in the same vicinity of them, and they're talking between themselves, like saying, "Oh yeah, this guy's over here," or "I've just seen a guy running down here." You can hear them, and then obviously they can hear your communication as well, and it makes for some interesting back and forth gameplay. Like I had a bunch of people come to us and we're all in this armored truck and like, yeah, I'm your Uber driver. Get in, and like, don't shoot. And then they started shooting us and stuff like that. So you've got people that try and do that. But there was a match I was in yesterday, and we took out two of the other teammates of this team of three, and we could hear the guy start like saying, you can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man from the gingerbread man story." And he kept running away, but you get every like he just kept saying, "Can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man," and like you just see him disappear through a load of buildings and stuff like that, and it was just hilarious because like we weren't hunting him, but he was staying close by for whatever reason, and you like it was just hilarious to listen to him kind of shouting at us.
Okay, so you drop in. You
Well, you don't drop.
can take
You
on
load in.
other-
You load in on the ground, and you
Okay.
can load in with. You can pick your load out beforehand if you have weapons. So, like for you, Nick, when you first play it, you'll load in and you'll have a certain set of weapons. You can choose like smoke grenades and normal grenades and stuff like that. And that's how you load in. Or if you've died a couple of times and you haven't got any gear, you load in with no weapons or free weapons, which tend to be really rubbish. And then yeah, the idea is basically you go and scavenge better guns by taking out the NPCs. You can, you know, find different
Do you
guns, or
know
you can
who the
earn cash.
NPCs are and who the players
No,
are?
that's the interesting. There's no game tag that pops up above the other online players. The only way you know that they're other online players is like how they engage with you. So are they being a bit more tactful? Are they like on top of a higher building? When you hit them, some NPCs have different rates of armor. So you're like, if you hit them, sometimes it'll be blue, but 9 times out of 10 other online players have obviously upgraded their armor, so it like the hit marker will be purple. So you can kind of tell that way. Or proximity chat, like you shoot at somebody thinking it's an NPC, and they kind of go, "Oh, I'm getting shot by somebody," and you think, "Oh, that's an online player."
Gotcha. So you finish contracts, and then if you die before you get to a bus or helicopter or whatever, do you get anything, or do you lose it all?
You lose all the like you'll get experience points because you'll have completed so many contracts, you'll have opened so many loot boxes, you'll have taken out so many AI enemies. There's different missions you can do. So like I was doing it on my own earlier, where I was going in and I just had to try and scavenge a load of hard drives and then extract myself by a helicopter with these hard drives in my backpack, and that was like one of the missions. So you can complete missions to earn more XP and stuff like that. And there's a whole battle pass scenario with it as well. That's still all linked together.
Okay.
So yeah, it's good fun. I mean, it like I said, was like PvP style battle royale can get really stressful, especially if you don't enjoy that kind of level of stress and having to be that accurate because you're against other people that played it lots.
Yes.
The idea that you can go through like a full like DMZ match and don't have to worry about another AI player, because if you stay away from the hot zones where like there's currently one that's called the Chemist, you stay away from him, or you stay away from this big yellow circle with a briefcase on it, you're more than likely not going to meet another AI player for that whole match. If you just go to like the smaller built up areas, you can kind of stay away from them and just take out NPC like AI bots basically, which they get increasingly more difficult, but as long as you're taking cover quite well and things like that, it's not difficult. It's not like, oh, I can't do this game's crap. It's kind of like oh, okay, yeah, that was challenging. I can see where I went wrong and I know what I need to do next time. So.
Gotcha. Cool. That's awesome. I can't wait to try it. Hopefully either later tonight
it'd
or
be
tomorrow.
interesting.
So my issue with the game, or not an issue, but like my experience with the game so far has been, I went to it, I clicked on it, and then it changed from like, I can't remember what it said. If it was like, do you want to download this or do you want to own this? Or I don't know. I clicked on it and it was like, now you own this. And I was like, oh, great. So then I went out to the home screen expecting to see an install bar. There was no install bar. So then I went back into the store and then it now said you own this, so I clicked on it, and then once I clicked on it, it was like, well, what do you want to install? And I was like, well, I don't freaking know what I want to install. You install it. I like, how am I supposed to know? I've never played the game, and so it gave like 6 or 7 different options. So I just was like, well, I guess I want to install the base game. So I installed that. I went to work. I came home. I went to play it, and I realized basically I could do absolutely nothing. Like I went into one thing and it was like, yeah, you haven't installed that. And then I went into something else and it was like, yeah, you haven't installed that either. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I went back to the store and basically clicked all the buttons like you did the first time. And then I downloaded like another 45 gigs. And so I was like, well, I'm not playing that right now. So hopefully that's downloaded now. But that just doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. Like, just download the game. Like, it seems I don't understand. Just download the game. I'm sure there's a
Yeah, but
reason for it, but I don't get it.
it's because you've got to have it because it runs through the Modern Warfare game application on the dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a 99.99, like £100 version, a £79 version, and then there was the free version. And I did
Yeah.
exactly the same. I clicked on the free version, um, you know, and it did that. It says, "Oh, you now own it." I was like, oh, "Okay, cool, right." Um, and then I did the same. Went to the home screen, and I was like, "Well, nothing's downloading." So then had to go in and manage the game, and you had to like select which one. And I just basically anything that made sure that I wasn't paying money, I'd selected, and then set that downloaded, which I think it was like 95 gigabytes. So,
Yeah. And I mean it's I just don't I did see the three different, which made a lot of sense. Like, do you want to pay the $120 or the $90, or do you want the free version? But once I click on the free version, just download everything that's free. Don't make me then go in and click on the things that I want to install. It's just a dumb step. It doesn't make sense. And then when I did, before I even realized I didn't have everything, the amount of privacy, uh I mean, I clicked through one and then I thought, oh, I must have missed it. So then I like went to the bottom and clicked again, and it was like I had to go through like four of those things. And then I had to set up my account. I don't know. These things, they do somewhat frustrate me. But I know it's just like a one-time deal, and now I want to do it again. But yeah, all that took way too long. And I was like, well, I'm not. And then to get in and not be able to play the game, I was like, I'm out. So
yeah.
that's my
So
ASMR for the day. What's next?
I've
What else have you been
I've
playing?
I've added I've added Solo something as well from the Discord. So like he's now a friend of mine because I think he plays on PlayStation. So he's now a friend of mine. And yeah, we'll probably hopefully get some games together, and that'd be quite
Yeah,
funny.
that would be cool if we could do that.
If I can manage it as well, I'll stream it. So why not? I think I did a
Yeah.
3.5 hour stream today. So if you're interested in anything that I said, you want to see how the game plays and you want to see what it looks like and what kind of stuff you're up against, if you go to our Twitch, like previous videos on Twitch, it'll be there for like 14 days. So it'll be worth watching. It's 3 hours, 3.5 hours long. So if you skip to any, you'll probably see some form of gameplay. So.
Cool.
Other things that I've been playing, I fired up the Oculus or the Meta Quest, whatever you want to call it. Fired that up. I haven't played it since April. I'd say about June time. Just because it got that warm in the UK and the kids were off for school and stuff like that. It's hard to kind of play a VR thing when you need a bit of space. So fire that up. Lots of things have changed on there. So because it's gone from Oculus, which was Facebook, the whole Facebook account thing all changed. They've gone to something called Meta Horizon. So I had to set up that. I had to mess around. I had to do updates, and then it did a whole thing where it just constantly kept giving me a black screen through the lens. So then I had to mess around with that some more. I had to wait. I had to turn it off. I had to do this. I had to do a hard reset. I did a lot while streaming Warzone, which was hilarious. So every now and then in the stream, it might take like a 5 minute break because I put the headset on because it had finished doing one update, so I could do something else. So after all that, I played a bit of Beat Saber because there's some new free packs available on there. Noticed that Lizzo, the artist, has released a pack on there, so I might get that and kind of say to Lindsay, "Hey, do you want to try this if you're feeling up to it?" Depending on how her back is. And then I played VR, Super Mind Control VR, which I played that on Game Pass, which is a hilariously brilliant game. And I forgot how much fun it is in VR as well. So, and then I started looking through the store on there and realized that Among Us VR is out and it's $7.99 at the moment. So I might purchase that over the weekend and see if I can get Logan playing it because he's never really been interested in the VR. But if I tell him he can play Among Us, he might be like hyped for that. So
Now, when you play Among Us VR, does everybody have to be in VR, or can you play with non-VR
I
people?
need to look into this because I don't know how well it'll transcribe if like I'm playing it via the VR and if you're playing it like on the console or on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how that'll work. It'd be brilliant if I could.
Yeah.
Like that'd be amazing. If like you're just seeing this top down kind of gameplay, but then I'm in there and I can see the 3D style of things. That would be fantastic. But I can't see that happening.
Yeah, it doesn't seem likely, but yeah, that would be cool. Very interested in VR, but every time I think about it, I come up with a reason not to pull the trigger. I don't know. It's an interesting deal.
Yeah. I mean, I look. I when I got the Oculus, I would like Lindsay bought me it for Christmas. It was a great surprise. We had lots of fun with it over the New Year. Playing like Richie's Plank Walk. There's a couple of like really cool free games on there. Like you sit on a roller coaster and you shoot signs and stuff like that, which is quite fun. My dad played that quite a lot. The Richie's Plank Walk is really good because you basically you take an elevator to the top of a building, and then like the elevator doors open, and you basically just looking over the edge of the building. There's nothing there apart from a plank of wood.
Hmm.
And what we did is I got one of the because I had loads of pieces of wood left when I did the hard flooring downstairs, and I kind of just laid that out on the carpet, so you could feel
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
walking on like a plank of wood.
Oh, that's
And some
crazy.
of the videos were hilarious. Like Lindsay's mum was playing it, and she'd had like a couple of glasses of wine, and like she genuinely thought she was falling. I had to grab before she fell forwards. So
That's crazy. Yeah, cool. Anything else for you, sir?
no, that's it.
All right. Well, we have one question hot off the presses from Bruce, so let's go to part. Bruce asks, "What's your favorite screen to play on, and what are you wireless or wired when you play?" Now, I asked him a follow-up question, but I think he hopped off before I got to it. Because I didn't know if he's talking controllers or headsets or what he's. I think he might be talking controllers. Not really sure.
Possibly. I mean, if I'm playing, let me try and bring up the full screen again so I can see. Where's it go? Give me the full screen.
So, I mean, my favorite screen to play on is my TV screen upstairs. It's not I do not have a 4K. I don't have any blah blah blah. It doesn't matter because I have an S, so it wouldn't touch it anyways. But I just like it because I can sit on my couch. It's a decent sized screen and I can just play. That's
Yeah, I mean, looking at what he's put in here, I think he means like, yeah, what screen do we play on when you're playing, and then are you wireless control, wireless headset? We can go along the whole thing.
I am wireless controller and no headset. I very rarely play with a headset on. Only when I'm playing with Sean or something like that.
So yeah, for me, it's a game. Well, I'll quickly spin the camera around. I don't know so Bruce can ever see this, but for descriptions. So that is my setup with a 55-inch TV, which isn't 120 FPS. So I'm not using the full capabilities of the old Series X. I sit on a gaming beanbag, which isn't great because I get really, really warm in it sometimes. So when I'm playing it, I have to have the windows open so there's a nice cool breeze coming past me. I'm playing with the Elite Series 1 controller, which I've had to do some kind of repair on again today because the other side of the rubber skins are coming off. And I can't quite yet buy a Series 2 via the Design Labs.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be my present to myself, even though I think it might be coming down in price again with Black Friday. But I've got my ear to the ground for that. And I use my Astro A50 headset. So mainly because if I'm playing Warzone, I like to be able to hear where gunshots are coming from, but mainly because like with Tunic, I loved the soundtrack to the game so much. So I played mostly with a headset on because I really liked the soundtrack. But if I'm sat in the beanbag playing, I tend to be either home alone or everybody's in bed. So I'm usually with a headset on. If I'm playing something that the kids can watch, so like when we play Among Us or we all play Minecraft together, or if we are playing, I'm trying to get Emily into It Takes Two. If I'm playing stuff like that, then obviously no headset, no beanbag, and everybody's on a wireless controller because nobody wants to be sat right in front of the TV.
Yeah, always wireless controller. I mean, I know it's supposed to be like so many nanosecond quicker or whatever, but I can't do wired controllers anymore. I just can't. I just
No, the
not
only
gonna
time I
happen.
do wired is if the power pack, because obviously the Elite Series 2 doesn't have batteries. Just double checking that now. Does it have batteries? No, it just has a power pack. It can take batteries. As if that's starting to die, I've got like a 6 foot long braided um like cable basically that charges it, which reaches anywhere in the living room. So it doesn't matter if it's wired or not, I can still play potentially wireless.
Nice,
So, but
nice,
I haven't
nice.
played. I haven't used a wired controller like just solely purely wired since the Xbox 360 era. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's been a long time. I can't go back. Not gonna happen. So there you go, sir. Anything else before we head out, Sean?
no, just a quick reminder that you've got one more week to get all your submissions in for the Persona 5 um, Achievement Hunters mission, and then after that, from the 1st of December to the 31st, it is open season. Any game, just accumulate those gamer score. You can track it, like I said, via the Xbox app, or just get us a screenshot of your monthly score or your score for this month, and I'll make some kind of sheet so we can keep that tracked as well.
Sounds good.
So yeah. So thanks very much for listening. If you want to follow us on any of the social media accounts, you can do. That's Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Head over there, search for at Game Pass News. If you want to chat to us in the Discord, subscribe to our Twitch channel. All those proceeds we end up putting back into you guys that are watching and listening. Or head over to patreon.com/forward slash Nintendo Dads, and $1 a month gets you into there too. Thanks very much for Ninja Lunchbox, to Bruce for being in the live chat, and until next time, we shall see you later.
See you later, guys.